ಬಯಲುದಾರಿಯ ಪಾಡ್ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ನಾನು ಮೆಡ್ರಾಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯೂಟಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
Ain't nobody stopping me.
ನಿಮಗೆ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ರೋಮಾಂಚನಕಾರಿ ಎಪಿಸೋಡು. ಕ್ಯಾಲಿಫೋರ್ನಿಯಾ ಸೂಪರ್ ಬೈಕ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗಿಗೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಭಾಳನೇ ಕಷ್ಟ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಲಾಟ್ ಸಿಗೋದು. ಸಾವಿರಾರು ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಓವರ್ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸೂಪರ್ ಬೈಕ್ ಕೋಚಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಬೈಕ್ ಓಡಿಸೋದು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಮೋಟರ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ರೈಡಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಸೈನ್ಸ್, ನಾಟ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ ಆರ್ಟ್. ಸಿದ್ಧಾರ್ಥ್ ಅಂತ ನನ್ನ ಅಚ್ಚುಮೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಗೆಳೆಯ, ನನ್ನ ವರ್ಧಣ್ಣನವರ ಮಗ ಟಿ ವರದರಾಜನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಅಮೇಸಿಂಗ್ ಗಾಯ್, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾರ್ಡಿನರಿ ರೈಡರು. ಕ್ಯಾಲಿಫೋರ್ನಿಯಾ ಸೂಪರ್ ಬೈಕ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ as part of the coaching group or the trainer group super bike school ಅಲ್ಲಿ.
It's been 12 wonderful years. It's a lot of hard work, but we love doing it. The biggest pleasure we get out of coaching is making riders safer, making them better equipped to especially handle all the chaos that the Indian roads bring us. And hopefully along the way, we've saved some lives.
What made you bring this California Superbike School to India?
So initially, it started out as a dream because Dad and I have always been passionate about racing. And of course, he was the pioneer. He attended the school in 94. And then when I was 15 or 16, he took me to my first school. And, we just really thought it would be great if we could bring the school to India to help give kids who are aspiring to get into racing a formal platform from which they can launch. Because, India has always been kind of geared towards car racing. Nobody really bothered about motorcycles. There were no academies to teach people how to go about it the right way. So that was the initial idea. And then we started to realize that, of course, the California Superbike School, every single drill we teach here is applicable on the roads. Right from throttle control to the visual stuff to, staying relaxed on a motorcycle or the vision and all of it. And we realized that the people that are actually benefiting from this are your everyday riders, people who like to do long rides, people who love motorcycles and do the commute from home to work, and that's become the driving force. I think the idea now is to get as many people trained by the school to make as many people safe on Indian roads, because we know that Indian roads have the highest rate of fatalities in the world in terms of road accidents. So my hope is to get more coaches on board, hopefully more Indian coaches, so we can run the school more times a year and we can take the school to other parts of the country and, give millions more access to schools like this.
Okay. So that brings me to this question. Because you don't have coaches, you can't run many sessions in a year?
Yes, because, all of our coaches have to come from the US or Greece or the UK or Australia. And, one, there's a scheduling conflict sometimes, and two, it's really expensive, right? Both the airfare, both the accommodation, both the coach fees, and it just becomes impractical to have them come for 2 days of coaching all the way from America and go back. So ideally, if we can get some more passionate people on board to coach, and if we can get a group of people that are based at least somewhere in and around India, then
I see your cousin is also coming on board.
Yes. So like we say, we like to keep it all in the family. Yesterday, in fact, he passed his test. I like to jokingly say that when I got into this program, I don't think I studied as hard even for my 10th or my 12th. It's like the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
I know you were so nervous for the last 3-4 days, and he said, Manohar, I'm not sure if I'm going to make it. And even yesterday you were saying, 50-50. That's what I spoke to you, and he said,
yes,
probably screwed it up.
It's what we told him was, if you do manage to make it to being a coach, the leathers that say California Superbike School coach are the heaviest set of leathers you will ever wear in your life, because it carries a lot of responsibility.
So that's a profound statement.
Under the CSS banner, there's a school called the ARD, which is called Advanced Riding Techniques. It's a scaled-down version of Superbike School, which we run in even parking lots of, say, a Cognizant or an Accenture. And we actually try to encourage the HR department to do it as a CSR initiative for their employees.
Wow.
Where, you have a full day setup. Like I said, it's a scaled-down version of the school. We set up cones in the parking lot, and we teach them basic skills to survive the chaos that is.
Do you think government should make it mandatory for anything above 100cc or 200cc bikes and they should have some kind of level 1, 2, 3 certification mandatory.
Absolutely. Because right now, I mean, forget 200, 300cc bikes. So even to get any kind of a license, you pretty much ride from here to there and somebody hands you a license, right? So
That's sad.
we did approach the road safety department to see if they would be interested in running the ART and make it a requirement for people to go through it before they actually get a riding license. But of course, we didn't get much of a response. To be honest, we didn't push after that, but that would be something that we would love to do. And I think we can get an access to a lot more people if it became mandatory for them to go through at least a basic training course before they rode a motorcycle.
The RTOs who are listening, the RTO inspectors, please, it's not just our life, it's someone else's life that you are putting at risk, because what Sid mentioned, you just drive or ride for 100 meters, you hand over the license. Please see how tough it is to get basic learner license overseas. I'm not trying to compare apples and oranges. I'm just trying to compare which is basic in terms of road safety. Please stop this corruption, issuing license for someone who pays you money. You're not just putting all of us at risk. Maybe you're putting your family at risk as well. Please, it's a request to RTO inspectors all around, India, all over India, not to issue driver's license, be it a motorcycle or be it a car. Please, unless and until you're sure.
Out here making stacks while I got you never match. Got my foot up on the gas, I ain't never looking back. No, out here making stacks while I got you never match. Got my foot up on the gas, foot up on the gas.
California Superbike School ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಅದರ ಫೌಂಡರ್ ಕೀಟ್ ಕೋಡ್ ಮಗ ಡಿಲನ್ ಕೋಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ.
We started training in 2009. It didn't take very long to really warm up to the people. India has this way of organically being. And what I mean by that is, if we were to look at a city in, let's say, Berlin or let's say Hong Kong or Tokyo, it's very gridded out. It almost looks like a circuit board from above. But India is more like vines and a tree. It's very organic. And the traffic, at least in Chennai, is like red blood cells moving through the veins. It looks random, but everything eventually arrives. What I find is motorcyclists in a certain geographic area, they're completely unaware of the fact that they have kindred souls. They're part of a much larger global fraternity, and they are so much more similar than they are different. Everyone understands the feeling and the satisfaction of going through a corner well. Everyone also understands the fear that arises immediately if the corner isn't going so well. And they all have, to some extent, this shared passion. So no matter who you are, no matter what the cultural differences might be, they all are drawn to the same things.
Okay, they all do the same mistakes.
Right. With that being said, I wouldn't say that there's any big difference between someone from India rather than South Africa or anything else. I would say perhaps that the Indian rider, just as a baseline, is going to be higher than most because riding motorcycles is so embedded in the culture. Whereas in America, motorcycles are not embedded in the culture. It's something someone makes a conscious decision to do,
right.
And it typically has to be more organized. They have to go get training, they have to get a license. Unless they're riding dirt bike, they're not just going to hop on a bike and go around the neighborhood.
Correct.
Where
Correct.
I would imagine in India, someone's going to say, "Okay, you're old enough now. You can touch the ground. Let's go ride down the street."
What is that we should be doing to keep up? And the first part of the question was, do you see that skills improve and we maintain at that level?
Yeah. So the first part of the question is, do we see the skills improve? Look, if we don't see the skills improving by the end of the third day, then we're not doing our job as coaches. And if you've seen the work ethic that my fellow coaches and we have during the day, we put our heart and soul into making sure that every student gets that improvement. We're relentless in making our observations, coming back, making them understand the benefits of actually applying the technique. And secondly, he said, what can we do to make sure if you don't ride on a racetrack for 2 years, 3 years,
Yeah.
This is a school, right? And like I said, every single technique we teach you at California Superbike School applies to the road. The only reason we do it on a racetrack is because it's a controlled environment.
ಪ್ರತಿ ಸೆಷನ್ ಹೆಂಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟು ಮಾರ್ಟಿನ್ ಜೊತೆ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ, ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಯಾವ ಥರ ವಿತ್ ಬೈಕ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಲಿಟ್ರಲಿ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ದ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ಸು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಇರಬೇಕು ಬೈಕಲ್ಲಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವ ಕರ್ವಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಥರ ನಾವು ಕಾರ್ನರ್ಸ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಟ್ಯಾಕಲ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಕಾರ್ನರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಕರ್ವ್ ಅಂತ. ಮೂರು ದಿನದ ಮುಂಚೆ ನಾನು ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ರೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸುಮಾರು ರೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಬಾಡಿ ಒಂದ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬೆಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು ಅಷ್ಟೇನೆ. ಕರ್ವ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ, ರೇಸ್ ಬೈಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾವ ತರ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಮೊಣಕಾಲು ರೋಡ್ ಟಚ್ ಆಗಂಗೆ ಹೆಂಗಪ್ಪ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಅದನ್ನ 3 ದಿನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಮಾಡಿದೀನಿ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ನಾಟ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಯುವರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ಟೈಟ್. ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ವಿಷಯಗಳಿದೆ. ನೀವು ಕ್ಯಾಲಿಫೋರ್ನಿಯಾ ಸೂಪರ್ ಬೈಕ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಬಂದು ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಒಬ್ಬ ಪ್ರೋ ರೈಡರ್ ಆಗ್ತೀರಾ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಪ್ರೋ ರೇಸಿಂಗ್, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಪ್ರೋ ರೈಡರ್. ಸೊ ಯು ಬಿಕಮ್ ಅ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನಲ್ ಬೈಕ್ ರೈಡರ್. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ for guys who are picking up bikes like 100cc, 200cc, 500, 1000, 1500. Someone else got a 1000cc bike, you want to buy a 1500cc bike. Please don't do that. You do that, but you make sure you're properly trained by professionals. Like said, come to California Superbike School. But the sad part is said, you have this training once in a year, and you know thousands of people like me, we have to wait. You know, I've been pestering you for over a year now, and luckily I got a slot because someone else dropped off. Otherwise I wouldn't have been.
Don't worry, we're working on it. We're trying to get more schools running. Luckily for us, India's building a lot more racetracks. So there's more places for us to go and do the school. And like I said, we're working on getting more Indian coaches on board.
So she's the lady behind the entire planning, coordination. So this is Lara. Welcome. So thank you very much for giving us an opportunity to train with you guys. That's amazing.
We're so grateful to be here in India. The first time I came here was about 8 years ago. The school came to India obviously before that, but that was my first trip, and I've just been enchanted with India since my very first trip, and I'm so happy to have been able to return. In the United States, we run between 75 to 90 school days just in the States alone in 1 year. So it's very busy, but one of the things that I love most about our school, totally aside from motorcycles, so many wonderful people all over the world, globally, is such a thrill, and to come together over the sport of motorcycling, it's like a family, right? So we have back home, you know, our United States family, we have in India, our family here in the United Kingdom, Europe, Australia, Taiwan, China, all over, and we all meet each other all over. It's such a beautiful relationship, you know, and to see everyone who comes, you know, enthusiastic, and then like you said, getting better every time we ride.
So what you meant is basically we are divided by culture, united by motorbike.
Yes, and we then exactly, which really in the end of the day unites us all even more.
Yeah. So that's one thing which is keeping, you know, because when I go ride in different parts of the world, there's something about this, you know, motorbike sport that connects people all around the world. That's something which I've always enjoyed. You know, whichever part of the world I go, I take my bike, and you know, I'm always welcome. You know, on the road, if I have a breakdown or if I've just stopped for a coffee, people come to you, talk to you about the bike, talk about the experience, talk about, you know, ask where I come from. So many things.
I think that's what's really special, that as far as I'm concerned, is number one, the enthusiasm of the Indian students, and just the whole culture. It is so really positive, energetic, and just a thirst for knowledge and learning. And the warm hospitality is just incredible. You don't experience that anywhere else. It's just that they take you in with open arms, and you become a part of the family. And I feel I'm part Indian. You know, I can't, you know, separate myself out from it, because I've just been welcomed so beautifully.
You are most of the time behind the scenes, working, managing the back-end operations, everything.
Yes.
And also from an audience perspective, how do you rate the Indian motorcyclists
Oh,
on the track and off the track?
Okay, well, I would say 10 out of 10 enthusiasm, learning, just the whole...
That's on the track.
On the track and off the track. But I will say one thing that has really, that I've found just really a marvel, very interesting and very different from anywhere else in the world, because we get to travel on the roads in India. So we get to see how well people actually communicate. It's like a controlled chaos, right? We were actually, we were at TTV's house and he had a Triumph there. This was about 8 years ago. And he let us ride his motorcycle, right? So
That's TTV.
That's right. He just walked right by, perfect timing.
You just photobombed with just shooting. Pardana,
I was just
the shooting
talking
going
about
on. It's okay, no problem.
Yes.
We're going to have this on the video, no problem. Yeah.
That's great. I mentioned he walked right by. So he lent us his Triumph, Dylan and I. And there was, I got on the seat up here and Dylan's riding the bike. There were no pillion foot pegs. So where did I put my feet? I had them right on the actual thing. So Dylan's riding the bike, he's steering, doing throttle and braking, and I'm shifting the gears.
Oh my God.
So he's telling me, he goes, okay, now. And then I shift, second gear, now, third gear, okay, back down. And I tell you, through the Indian streets, we were out by the beach house in that area. But it was such a blast, and we're going in between. So we made it alive, okay?
Yeah.
We were successful.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot of guts, which you guys have.
Yeah. Is there any key message that you want to give it to our audience?
Yes. Well, I think, like you said, motorcycle riding, being on two wheels in India is in your DNA, right?
Yeah.
You're born with it. You're in that way, you're very lucky. Honestly, I think so, because it's a beautiful skill. It's a beautiful freedom. Here, it's very necessary. It's your survival to transport home, work, right? For a lot of the world, they don't have that exposure or reality. And I think it's so special to be able to incorporate motorcycle training into an environment like this. Across the world, of course, but it's so special to have it here. And I'm just grateful that we have this here, that TTV has brought the school to India for years now, and we're just so grateful to be able to help with that in this country and around the world, because it is a very risky, dangerous activity. We know this, and to be able to give people more confidence and competence and certainty, to be able to, as necessity here, use it as a mode of transportation, but also to have the freedom, as in a spiritual sense, in a physical sense, is just beautiful. So thank you, to all of India who invites us here with open arms. We really hope to continue this activity here for all the years to come, and maybe even expand it, which would be wonderful, into other states of India as well. But thanks again for interviewing me, and I learned some really nice things from you, so thank you.
ಅಮೇಝಿಂಗ್ ಬೈಕರ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಆಲ್ ಓವರ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರಲ್ಲಂತೂ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಡೆ ಬೈಕರ್ಸ್ ಆಗೋಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಈ ನಡುವೆ ಇತ್ತೀಚೆಗೆ. ರಾಯಲ್ ಎನ್ಫೀಲ್ಡು, ಹಿಮಾಲಯನ್ನು, ಟ್ರಯಂಪು, BMW, ಹಾರ್ಲೆ ಡೇವಿಡ್ಸನ್ಗಳು ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ತೊಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ IT ಬಾಯ್ಸ್ ಅಂತೂ ಶನಿವಾರ ಭಾನುವಾರ ಕಾಫಿ ರೈಡು, ಬ್ರೇಕ್ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ರೈಡು, ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ರೈಡ್ಗಳು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ. ಲಡಾಖ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, ಸ್ಪಿಟಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, ಮೌಂಟೇನ್ ಪಾಸಸಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ. ಸೊ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಮರಿಬೇಡಿ, ಈ ರೈಡಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ರೈಡಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಫಾಸ್ಟಾಗಿ ಹೋಗೋದು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, ರೈಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಹೆಂಗೆ, ದ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಬಿಹೈಂಡ್ ರೈಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು, ನಿಮಗೆ ಮೋಟರ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಓಡಿಸೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ದು ಕಾರ್ನರಿಂಗ್ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಟ್ವಿಸ್ಟೀಸಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು, ಮೌಂಟೇನ್ ಪಾಸಸಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೂಪರ್ಬ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಇದು. ಸಾವಿರಾರು ಜನ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೀ 350ರಿಂದ 400 ಜನರಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಡ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಸಿಗೋದು. 3 ದಿನದ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮು 2 ಬ್ಯಾಚಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. 200 ಜನ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಟ್ರೈನರ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರಲ್ಲೂ ರೇಸ್ ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಂತೆ. ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ರೇಸ್ ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಬಂತು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ವಿಂಟರ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನೋಡೋಣ, ಗಾಡ್ ವಿಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್, ದೇವರ ದಯೆ ಆಗಲಿ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಶೇರ್, ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್.